What's up, tubers? It's your boy Ichi, and I've got a 2011 MacBook Pro here. This is a 13-inch, and I'm gonna do a video that I've tried to watch online a couple times, and it just never really worked out for me. I'm gonna fire this computer up so you guys will have the opportunity to see what's going on here. And I want you to pay close attention to the screen as it gets ready to boot up, so you get a chance to see what is going on. I'm going to explain it as it starts to try and boot, but basically what's happening is that the hard drive cable that attaches to the motherboard in this particular computer has died, and when the computer goes to boot up, you get a folder with a question mark that flashes on screen. We did a lot of troubleshooting with this machine just to make sure that was the issue. We plugged in some external drives just to double check. We plugged in the drive that was in it to double check to make sure that it was an okay drive, but we ended up figuring out, or best guessing by doing some troubleshooting, that the issue was the cable. So I went online for the client that I'm doing this for, and I ordered a new cable which came in the mail today, and I'm going to replace this for him. Now, I haven't done any videos in a while where I've done Mac repairs, so I decided this would be a really good one, and yeah, I just want to get right into it. So I'm super excited to do this video. Here's the actual piece that we'll be replacing on the motherboard. I will show it to you step by step, and hopefully show it to you in focus and in high definition, because all of the other videos that I saw where they were trying to show this problem were really crappy, and the quality was just really poor, and you couldn't make out what was going on. Jeez, come turn off, guy. I don't want you to come back on. I want you off. So what we're gonna do, I just fired it off. I'm making sure that I'm grounded, obviously, because I'm gonna be touching internals of a computer. I'm gonna close it up. I'm going to flip her over, and we are going to go to work together, and you guys will get an opportunity to see exactly how to change this particular part if you've got any questions. It's pretty straightforward, but again, you know, you may have this issue and may not know how to fix it, so hopefully this helps somebody. The first step that we're going to do is we're going to remove all these screws. With this being an older computer, it doesn't have the special screws in it like what's in my MacBook Pro. There's a very specific tool that you have to use for the Retina MacBooks, but the older ones still use a Phillips. So get a fairly good screwdriver. It doesn't have to be great, but a decent one, and remove all your screws. There are 3 screws in the top that you do have to remove that are longer and that are very specific to those locations. So make sure that you take special care in knowing where all of your screws go. Otherwise, you might be in trouble. Again, there's 3, and they're along the back side, and they're much longer than the standard screw. I'll show you now. There is a standard screw on top, and this is one of the longer screws here. It also takes longer to unscrew said screws. That's the difference in size of those screws. And let me just show you close up so you guys can get an idea. And there again are 3 of those that are here, here, and here. So keep up with those and you should not have any issues. This is the connection to the motherboard that you will have to unplug to do this cord. The piece that we'll be replacing is this piece right here, and it should, for all practical purposes, work. In order to remove this, all you do is lightly put a little pressure and flip it up, and it'll pop right off. And I'm just looking to make sure that the connectors of the old and the new match, and they look like they do. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to unscrew the actual hard drive bay, which there are 2 screws here and here, and they do not come out. I repeat, they do not come out. This whole piece just lifts up. The other things in here are the battery, and this one has an optical drive still in it, so good for him. At some point he may want to upgrade this if he keeps it and put a solid state and a couple other things, do the Otherworld computing mod to it. I've removed the hard drive. It was pretty harmless. It's pretty straightforward. I'm going to lay it in the metal pan over there, and we're going to look here. On this part, there are 2 more screws that we have to take out, here and here, to remove that piece, because as you can see, there is another piece of this cable that goes there. And there also are 2 screws, one here and one here, that are smaller. So let's get these screws out first. And these do actually come out, so you will need to remove those screws. And they come out pretty easily. Like I said, with a decent screwdriver, you shouldn't have any issues doing any of this. And then you just wiggle this guy free, and it should come out pretty easily with no issues. Now, this piece, this strip right here, has adhesive on it that you have to take off. You know, you have to pull up basically in order to get it loose. I am going to do these last 2 screws really quickly, because you do need to take those off as well in order to remove the ribbon cable. And we're going to get the other out. And they are really tiny, pain in the butt screws, but we got everything separated. Everything is up. So I'm going to pull this guy up. Everything is out. So now we can install the new piece. There is one more thing that has to be done. There is a cable that runs across here, and I'm going to use the flathead end of my screwdriver to pop it out. There's a cable that runs across here that has to be taken out, and once you pop it out like so, you can remove the rest of this particular piece. Focus, camera. Because it's got to be replaced with the new piece, which looks like so. Come on. There you go. So let me get going on that. Let me pull it off, and then I will show you the install of the new piece. And this should just pop right off like so. And it's just adhesive holding it on. Next thing we're going to do, and let me zoom out just a bit so I can show you, is assemble this part, because this is important. We're going to go ahead and get this guy ready, because this cable, ribbon cable here, has to go into this little spot right here. I've got the cable inserted, which is right here, and then I've got the piece stuck on. Alright guys, so now that I've got this installed, I'm going to pretty much do the reverse, and I'm going to put this piece back in, and once I've got it in and semi-secured where it's supposed to go, I'm going to drop these screws back in to hold it in place, because that's important. Switch back to the right side, and that should get us where we need to go to start. Alright, one, we'll get the other, and then we'll go through the motions here to get this thing going. Got those 2 screws secured. Now I can go in here and take off this piece of tape so that I can stick that down where it should go, and everything should lay naturally. You shouldn't have any issues with where things lay, and if you do, it's okay. Just neatly sort it out where it'll lay correctly. Right, now that I've got the plug in, I can go in and mess around with this to get it just the way, get it right. So now everything is looking like it's supposed to look. So we've got the board in. The next thing is to put the drive in, and then we're going to check to see if this bad boy is going to spin up the way we want it to spin up, because everything seems to be pretty good. So we're going to line everything up, drop it back into the cradle, and then we're going to put the little arm back on, and we're going to see if the drive is now communicating with the actual computer. which is what we want because it wasn't doing that before. So I've done the reverse of the install. I've got everything back in. I'm not gonna put the screws in just yet. I'm going to put the casing on, turn it over, and power it up and see if we can get some communication to the actual drive, because that'll be my next step in all of this. Stand by. I heard it spin. So I'm gonna start the recovery process and hopefully this thing works, so stand by, guys. I was able to reinstall an operating system on the hard drive because I was able to, as I showed you, swap out the bad ribbon cable that connected the motherboard, the hard drive to the motherboard. So now it's just going through the process of getting everything squared away and working on the computer again. But as it stands now, everything seems to be working correctly. Alright guys, so check it out, I'm back. I finally finished the repair to this late 2010, early 2011 MacBook Pro, and we're gonna fire it up. We've done all the updates, and as it fires up, you'll notice that you're no longer getting the folder with the question mark that you were getting. It wasn't that bad of a job, just had to go through and do all the updating of the operating system and everything, but so far so good. The hard drive seems to be working as planned, and everything seems to be back to normal. So the moral of the story is before you go out and spend a lot of money taking your computer to a repair shop, do a little bit of troubleshooting if you're able, and try to figure out what the issues are. You know, in our case, it just happened to be this ribbon cable that was going from the motherboard to the hard drive, and it was about a $30 replacement. I don't know what that would have cost to replace at the Apple store, and I also don't know what it would have cost at our local store that repairs here where I'm at in Columbus. So yeah, please let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Let me know if you're having any issues. I'm probably, like I said, part-time going to get back into repairing Macs again because it's kind of fun to me. But this one is ready to go, and everything, as you see, is up and running. So all the user would have to do next is log in and they can use the computer. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.